Okay, we're gonna come back and work on to finish up with the chair for this scene, but let's go ahead and name the book because I don't remember naming it. Okay, so select the cube that was used to create the book. We're gonna call it book. Okay, and then you can shift select all the other ones. Actually, let me back up a second. Here's a way to name things that are similar, multiple naming. Select all of them, like so. Go up to this part on your toolbar, the status line, right over here at the end, right? Highlight this, and you can name it book, and it will automatically name each one of them. See, this is book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. And you can also take all these books and group them into one unit, so if you ever need to move them, it'll be in a group, nice and organized. So you're going to go to edit, group, and you can name it books. Okay. As you notice, when you group things, the pivot point tend to move, so you can go to modify center pivot, and it'll bring the pivot point back up to the books. All right. So we're going to take the books group, select one of the books, press the up arrow key to select the entire group. We are also going to put this in that layer. So with that layer selected and the book selected, you're going to right click and you're going to hit add selected objects, and that'll add the books to that layer. Okay, so we're getting ready to make the chair. Again, I'm going to start with a cube. I'm going to go to the top view, frame my scene in, and I'm going to scale the cube to fit the table that I've created. So we're going to scale on the width and the depth. So maybe a little smaller, something like this. All right. For subdivision, we want 3 on the width, 1 on the height, and 3 on the depth. All right, and it's basically it's very similar to the table. I'm going to go to edge, double click on these edges, hold the shift key, double click, use the scale tool, and bring them to the edge. You're creating a small square on the edges to extrude the legs for the chair, and also later on we're going to extrude a back for the chair. So make sure they're kind of squarish. All right, it'll look nice. You're going to go back to your perspective view. You can bring it out. Oops, undo. Right click, go back to your object mode, and you can drag the object out so it's not in your way. And I think the chair is a little too thick, so I'm going to scale it down some, just like this. All right. Rotate the chair base, right click, go to your face, component, select the faces at the bottom, and you are going to extrude and draw them down. Also, at this point, I like to look at my side view to make sure they're nice and even. And you can have it as long as you like, so maybe about there. Okay, and again, if you would like the feet to be tapered slightly, just like the table, click on one of these little squares to get the blue one in the middle. Click and drag to scale the chairs in to give it a more tapered and refined look. Q to drop the tool. All right, and you can right click, go to object mode. At this point, you can bring the chair up onto the axis. Use your orthogonal view to help you, like so. And we can now begin. I think the chair is a little too low. Here's a quick fix. It's a little too small. I'm going to just scale it larger. Okay, bring it back up. There's a lot of forgiveness here as a matter of fact, because if you mess up, you can always refine or edit your object. So it's not a big deal that you make it too small or too big, because you can always fix it. All right. So it's about right, I think. If not, we can always scale. I think the legs are a little short. So I'm going to right click, go to the vertex, and I'm going to drag all these vertices at the bottom and just move them down slightly to give it a longer chair leg. Alright, there you go. I think this looks a little better. Okay, so we're going to make the back of the chair. I'm going to right click, go to face, select these faces right there, and you're going to extrude. And I'm going to extrude this from the front view so I know how tall to make the chair's back. I'm going to drag it to about right there. Okay, so there you go. Q to drop the tool, and here you have the chair back. Alright, the next tool we're going to use is called the Cut Faces tool, and what I want to do is to cut some divisions along the chair back so I can make the chair rungs that go across the chair. So what I'm going to do is, in my face component, I'm going to drag to select all these faces right there. Go to this view where you can see the faces flat like that, and you are going to find the edit, let me see where it is, mesh, cut faces tool right there. Okay, let's open up the options. Make sure your options are an interactive cut, and if it's not, you can just edit reset, and that's all you have to do. Okay, now what you want to do is click on the part where you want to start the first rung. I'm going to click right over here, and you're going to drag till you see a line nice and straight across your screen. Alright, so you can see up close there's a little edge that's cut there. Try to make them even if possible. Okay, so I'm going to cut one right there. I'm going to zoom in, make one right about here. So I'm just left clicking and dragging my mouse that way. I want another one right over here, and I'm going to hit G. I already have the tool, so I'm going to click right there, right there, right there, and right there. Okay, Q to drop the tool. And if you go back to your perspective view, you can see that now there's lots of divisions that are cut. Right click, go back to object mode, and now we're going to begin to make the rungs of the chair using the bridge tool that we have talked about in class. I also want to make them spread out a little bit more because I think the top part is too long. So you can right click, go to vertex, and grab all these vertices right over here. Now make sure you don't grab these. So I'm going to go to that view and grab all of these. And I'm going to make sure I deselect those. I'm going to use the scale tool. I'm just going to kind of scale them apart slightly so they're not too close together. And then I'm going to move all the vertices up to something like that. I think that's, oops, undo. I seem to have missed one. Yep, I missed this one. So make sure that you select all the proper vertices to scale. And scale them up slightly, and then move them up. Okay, so they're a little more even. Alright, I'm going to go back to object mode. There you have it. Okay. Before we bridge the pieces of the chair rung together, we need to make sure the faces are deleted so there's no extra geometry. So right click, go to the face mode. I'm going to select this face, shift select that one, this one, and that one. Rotate your screen. Do the same thing on the other side, and simply hit the delete key to delete those faces. Alright, right click, you're going to select the edge mode, double click on this edge, hold the shift key, double click on that edge so they're both selected. You're going to go to the mesh the bridge tool, open up the options. Oops, where are my options? Oh, I used the wrong bridge tool. That one was the modeling toolkit. So I'm going to hit Z to undo it first. I'm going to show you the bridge tool over here. It's going to be edit bridge. All right, edge, bridge. Go to the options. The default is 1 division. We're going to need a more division because if I choose the default, you can see that there's only 1 edge loop between the two. I need more because I want to eventually curve the back of the chair. So I'm going to undo that bridge and I'm going to make it 6 divisions. Okay, so I'll have more detail in order for me to curve the back of the chair. I'm going to double click again on this edge, make sure I'm back in the edge mode, double click to select that edge, shift select this one and hit G to repeat, double click on this edge, hold the shift key, that edge, double click, G to repeat, double click on this edge, hold the shift tool, double click on this one, G to repeat, and now we've made some rungs for the back of the chair. Okay. Next thing we want to do is to give it a slight curve so it's a little more comfortable to sit on, and you can then proceed to bevel the edges of the chair so it has a nice soft rounded edge. So to make the rungs bend, I like to use the top view so we can see them down like those. Those are the chair rungs looking down at the chair. Right click, go to vertex. I'm going to grab these vertices right over here, use the move tool and move them out slightly, just a little. Deselect them and grab the ones in like that, move them out slightly, deselect those and grab these and move them out slightly. So if you look at the back of the chair, it now has a nice curve. Okay. Oops. Oops. What is it doing? Object mode. All right. Finally, make sure you delete your history. Okay, there's a lot of history used to construct this chair. So edit, delete by type history. At this point, if you want to do some beveling on the chair, you can. Right click, go to your edge mode. I would bevel this edge, shift key that one, this one, this one. Those edges need to be beveled. Alright, so I'm going to go to edit mesh bevel. Alright, that's obviously too large, so we're going to go to the fraction option, middle mouse click and drag. Just like that. That's pretty good. Okay. Maybe bevel this edge. So if you're on the edge mode, double click to select that edge. And maybe this one too, and that one. Okay, so those edges are over there. Repeat the same. I'm going to do that side first. Hit G to repeat the bevel. Alright, so that's done. Nice. And we're going to double click this edge, that one, double click this one. Okay. Hit G to repeat the bevel. There you have it. Alright, now if you want to bevel the edges here, around the rungs and stuff, or on the back of the chair, on the legs, you can. But for right now, we're going to call it done. Again, delete by history. Okay, so we have the chair made for the table. I'm going to name this chair. And we're done. We have the reading table and some chairs. Okay. When we come back, we're going to make a lamp and also a couch. And hopefully, with all these practice, when you get to make your model your room for project 2, you will have a lot more practice to do a good job. Okay. I'm going to save the scene.